New business, 2023 past due business licenses. Administrator Woodward.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a list, you can look at them and see, you know, obviously, we would encourage those businesses to come in and pay for their licenses. The price went from $50 to $52.50. Yeah, okay, as of March 1st. But, you know, some of these businesses are businesses that do business with the city of St. Clair. So we just need to make sure that in those particular cases, we will make sure that we collect them before we pay any outstanding balance to them, or in the case may be, make sure that they have all the proper lien waivers and everything else in place for us. So it's just, I think the staff has done a great job in making that list as short as it is, but we're going to continue to get into nothing at this point. That's our goal.
So I just need clarification. The list of contractors that are printed in our packet, are those the ones that do not have a 2023 business license? Or are those the ones, because these are, it says that we typically use, are those the ones that don't have the 2023 business license?
If they're on this list, they
If
don't
they're
have
on
their
the
They
license.
have not renewed for 2023.
Okay, interesting. All right, thank you.
It's a little bit of a shocker, but everybody know.
Yeah. And there's companies on there that, you know, we're trying to engage us in economic development as well. They're
On the list, yeah.
I will say, having talked to one business owner, that letters, I think that it's not, the mail service is somewhat not reliable all the time anymore, and so some of the letters, I believe, got lost.
That's probably the case. Megan has called every one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they've all been contacted directly by phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there a deadline on that? Like, before they get like a penalty?
It's like 250.
I mean, because it's like, it's
Right.
$50, right? That's not that much considering the grand scheme of things.
It's not, yeah.
So,
Yes, we have had that discussion for a while now about redoing that ordinance and fee schedule, but have nothing's ever come to fruition with that because, yeah, it isn't really, the penalty for being late, I don't feel like is enough of an alternative at this point.
well, the list shows that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they don't care.
right.
Yeah,
And beyond that, you know, we don't have a lot of enforcement beyond that either.
yeah.
So, you know, we don't have much of a stick to make it back.
Penalties set by state statute.
Next, we have the part-time summer seasonal park position.
I think most of you know that the Clarence Howard, they call him Poncho, he's got a lot of experience, worked, I guess, quite a bit of time. He's agreed, in the past, I guess he had some reservation about a festival, but he's agreed to do everything it takes for him to go on board. And he said he would do it for, you know, the rate that he did last year. So there's a schedule in your packet that I just put together to kind of give us an idea when we feel like opening the splash park and those kind of things are going to be a higher need. So that the other individual is Joe Heitman, who's worked for the city in the past too. So we've only budgeted $10,000 for those part-time, and we've already used about $1,000 in that budget for part-time help now. So we've got around $9,000 left for that. So these were numbers we're just trying to get close, factoring in, you know, our portion of Social Security amount. So based on this schedule, we ought to be able to pretty close. The other thing too is, right now we're contracted with U.S. Lawns to do most of the mowing for us. But if we have we get to the heavy season, we have 3 guys on mowers and string trimmers, we feel like we could reduce what we're paying that outside service. And having these guys do it because they have a lot more experience doing it, we'd probably be a lot more effective and a lot cheaper than paying an outside service. So we'll adjust these hours and budgets based on our effectiveness and our ability to get the grass. But yeah, this was just, it was budgeted, and so both these individuals are ready to go as soon as we can have them drug tested and have their physicals completed as soon as you will give us the authority.
So would you like that motion this evening, or do you want to wait until it gets closer to season? Or are you just ready to go?
Well, you probably also got an email from me today too. I'd like to put all three of those employees under the Public Works Administration. I think Jason has a really good feel for what he can supervise them on a day-to-day and make sure that they're working effectively. I'm a little concerned that from my chair to try to supervise what they're doing, it really puts me at a disadvantage. And they've got guys out there all the time who can really make sure they're putting in their, maximizing the time we have. So, what I would probably like to do is to give us the authority to bring them back and to offer them, but their schedule will be determined by a public works director. If that's my suggestion to the board.
Similar to the schedule that you have based out.
Right, yeah, because this gives us the opportunity to bring Pancho on much sooner and then fill in. Joe would come on board in time to get the splash park up and running, and he's familiar with it.
Jason, you feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make that motion to follow the recommendation of Administrator Lippert with the seasonal summer help of Clarence Howard and Joe Hyman.
Second.
Now roll call, please.
Alderman Phelan.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Alderman Guthrie.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you for breaking that down. It's so much easier to read and see. Next, we have the Evergreen Pavilion Roof Project.
Just for clarification, that park is officially known on the books as the JC Pavilion. It was built and donated to the city in 1989.
Fantastic. I'm glad we got that.
Yeah, so that resolves some confusion. It is on city property.
Is the one at the top of the hill, is that the one we're speaking about?
Up by the senior housing.
Oh, on that side of the park. Got it. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so,
That big one.
right, so they are ready to pull the trigger on this one tomorrow. In fact, we got a lumber bid for that, and it was nominal. So we went ahead and said, look, let's go ahead, and we're gonna ask you to give us a not to exceed number on this project too. But they wanted to have, so all the material is being delivered, will be delivered over to the trades area where they can secure it. We didn't want to have anything so it could be stolen or taken. So he's going to have everything delivered to them over the high school, right, Craig?
Yes.
And then they'll bring over the material they need every day and transport it back and forth so we don't have a loss on material. So it's my understanding that they're ready to get started tomorrow morning, right?
Yes.
And then the idea with this is that they'll jump on this, they get this one done, and then we'll move over to the community center, is that right?
That is the plan, yes.
And now, I was in here when Mr. Darking was in, and he had talked about cutting something off the edge. Is there extra figured in with this one at all? Is there wiggle room figured in with this, or is it just that cut and dry?
We're asking not to exceed $3,000, so that will give us some leeway.
It will give leeway.
Yes.
You'll see that there's a little over $300. We rounded it, but the $300 gives us the wiggle room. The only thing that we didn't have allocated before was a dump trailer, and Kevin Williams from Williams Electric is donating that dump trailer for us. So we'll have, what, $30 in dump fees?
Yeah.
Because that's all shingles and
Right.
plywood, right? So, yeah, we'll fill that dump trailer and take it over, it'll be $30. So, we've looked at these numbers with nausea, and we really feel like this project completely can be done for under $30,000.
And again, there's a substantial savings on the labor.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Would you like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the Evergreen Park Pavilion roof replacement not to exceed $3,000.
Second. May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Beedler.
Aye.
Alderman Guthrie.
Aye.
Alderman Sykes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Again, thank you for looking into that. The high school building trades, cannot thank them enough. Next, we have the LWCF grant update. Alderman Sykes.
Yes, so we actually just last week got our notice to proceed in the bid process through the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant that will be renovating Orchard Park Playground and exercise space. So we're hoping that the bid publication goes out at the end of this week once all of that gets approved from them. And then we will move forward with bids. I think it has to run per the grant for 4 weeks, and then I need to double check what our ordinance is for a project like this and how long it has to run. But it'll be a little bit of a lengthy process waiting for bids to come in. But hopefully we can get some bids in that will allow us to accommodate the scope of work that the grant was written for. So the grant was written in 2019, and we had to list very specific elements that we were going to include in the park project. So obviously, as most of us know, the cost of things from 2019 to 2023 is very different. So there's some concern coming from the grant administrator and myself that we can't alter the scope of our grant. It's not possible. I've already asked. So hopefully we can figure out a way to make all of those things happen, because if not, then that's going to throw a monkey wrench in them reimbursing us half of the expense. So it's kind of a non-option at this point. I mean, we just have to figure out how to make it work, and we have to include all of those items in the grant, or when they come out for final inspection, they will not give us final approval. So just to kind of let you know what we're dealing with at that point. So hopefully we'll have bids come in. That'll be better than expected, and we'll move forward quickly with no hiccups.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I can. I'm trying to over-communicate to the board in my Friday wrap-up. And I'm trying to be as honest as I can with where I am, where I sit in my chair. It was a pretty busy week. The staff continues to bring me up to speed, and everybody told me that they were a great team, and I think they underestimated it. They really worked really hard, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody, all of the department heads, and Kim and Dana. They just have gone above and beyond trying to help me get up to speed, and we're getting there. We've been putting a lot of fires out. We hopefully will get the issue resolved with credit cards early, but later this week. Everything is set. It's been fast-tracked. We have all of our approvals. We're just waiting on the actual equipment, point of sale equipment for that. We feel like that'll be resolved this week, which would be a nice thing for the girls because they can actually take debit cards with credit cards. And all of the factoring in for the 3% is all done on the backside, so we won't have to worry about any of that. We've also met at length with the folks at Farmers Merchants Bank. One of the concerns that I had was, we agreed to give them kind of an exclusive to price our certificates deposit. And in comparing theirs versus, the rates at other places, and then looking at the litany of services that they provide to us free of charge that we would have paid. You know, I'm a numbers guy, and I really kind of ran the cost-benefit analysis in my head, is crunch the numbers, and it's in our interest to continue that relationship with Farmers Merchants Bank, without question. They've brought some new services to the table. One is they're going to provide us with the ability to scan our checks every day by day end, and those will automatically, that money will be transferred into our account that day. So that's a huge thing. Today we processed a little about $24,000 in our office just today, to give you an idea. And the vast majority of that was in checks. So you remember, Kim, what the number was that she processed? But I think it was about $22,000 in just checks. And so right now the process is those girls have to fill out a manual deposit slip for all of those checks and all that cash. Under the new system that they're providing free of charge, those checks can all just be scanned, and automatically we can look at that and reconcile. If there's any problems with the checks, we'll know immediately whether or not there's any issues with the checks at all, in terms of whether or not they're endorsed correctly, or if the verbiage doesn't match the number amount, all those sort of things. It'll also take away any errors on the bank side, because we'll be able to notice that and reconcile that immediately. So our staff will be able to reconcile our deposits before we even have to make a deposit. And it'll be that. So other than the cash amount, that's a great thing that I think is going to help us. And, you know, in the banking business, we talk about, you know, that float time, right? So if it's 5 days before that money credits our account, somebody else is using the advantage of those deposits. We'll have those deposits by close of business today. So that's it. I mean, that alone will generate a little bit of interest revenue. So that's something we feel like we're going to move forward on. There's no cost to us at all. They had some other services that we're looking into. Farmers will provide us for free. So it's a good relationship. We've been real helpful. You also got a flyer that we had put together in regard to the April 4th Prop P. I think that we have an obligation to provide just facts in terms of, you know, why we felt like it was in the city's interest to apply this sales tax on just recreational marijuana, and to let the citizens know that there's at least 100 other municipalities in the state of Missouri that are doing the same thing we are. So we're not unique in that. I think it's our responsibility to provide answers. Now, we're not promoting a yes or no vote, obviously, but we are going to make these flyers available in public spaces. I sent those to you we haven't printed it yet, so if you got any suggestions or thoughts on changes, if you like the format, if you don't, that's up to you guys. But we thought it was a good first step to just provide public information. It's on the ballot. We feel like we should provide information as to what's on the ballot.
Ms. Curtis?
I don't know. This is basically, I went out and asked other municipalities what they're doing, and this was kind of a combination of what several municipalities are doing. So that's why we created it in this fashion, because it's similar to what several other municipalities have done.
I think the transparency of telling people what the money is going to be allocated for is really beneficial. If we print, what is our plan for distribution, or are we just going to go mostly like social media type spreading?
I don't know that we need to advertise it in the paper, because I don't think they're going to print this for free.
Right.
So, but we can put it on our Facebook page, we can put it on our website, we can make it available at the library, we can make it in the courts building, any public place. I think we can make it available. Now, you will find that the language that we put in here is that all of it goes to general revenue fund, allowing the city to put the money into city services such as public safety, parks, and capital. Now, that again is a suggestion, but it's just general revenue funds. It doesn't obligate us to do that. There is an issue we found, is that there's no clear way to find out how much revenue is being generated from that. So Kim and I